Okay, so we're going to talk about compassion today. And this actually came about because I was talking to a member of my VIP membership, and we were talking about world events. And the conflict in the Middle East is something that is really disturbing this member and causing her a lot of discomfort. And what was really interesting, I thought, was how she was reacting to it. And part of it was there was an element of guilt. And when I was talking to her, I could really feel the need for some compassion that she needed to show herself. Hello, Unnati, how are you? Some compassion. Hi, Belinda. She needs to show herself some compassion because she is just one person. And then when I was feeling into this evening's conversation about compassion, what my team was showing me was how loud our critical voices are. And that's the voice in our head that says we're not doing enough, we're not being enough, we're not showing up for our friends or our family enough, we're failing as a good parent or as a spouse or a partner, or perhaps we're not earning enough, whatever your critical voice is saying you. And this voice can be really loud and practiced for some members of this group and this community. It's a voice that has learned through experience to chastise you when you already feel bad. It's almost like the kicker in the stomach, you already feel bad and then this voice pops up in your head. And the thing is about it is it's very practiced. And so with every time it runs as part of the cycle of thoughts, what happens is it gets more and more ingrained and it gets louder and louder. And it begins to affect how you can show up in the world. So if you're feeling guilty because you're not doing enough or you feel like you're not doing enough, it can make you feel very emotional, but it can also make you feel very vulnerable and withdraw as well from the world. So you'll avoid, hi Leonie, you'll be avoiding conversations or perhaps social situations because you feel like you don't deserve to enjoy those things because you're not doing enough about another situation. And so this critical voice can really, really drive anxiety and depression in many people. And it's not always showing up as anxiety, but it's present. So before you get to the anxious state, this voice will have been talking loudly in your brain. And it was something I used to see a lot in my anxiety practice. In my previous business, Feel Good Treatments, I used to work with people who had anxiety. And this voice was always prevalent, always, without, an exception. It was always there. When we do energetics and we are striving, what's the purpose of doing energetics, right? What's the purpose of me saying to you, do your energetics every day? It's because you want to feel better in the doing of them. You want to experience more ease. You want to experience more prosperity. You want to experience more love, right? Love for yourself, but love for other people as well. But primarily love for yourself, because when you show up as your best version, it encourages other people to do the same. But if you have a really loud, critical voice, it can be really hard to do your energetics daily. And when I talk about doing energetics daily, I don't mean like sitting in a meditative pose for an hour every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. I mean, when you do energetics daily, they can show up in lots of ways. It can show up with, some beautiful singing. It can show up as you going for a run or a walk in nature. It can show up in how you cook for other people and how you cook for yourself, right? Love for yourself and love for other people and compassion for yourself and compassion for your other people can show up in lots of different ways. So when you're doing your energetics daily, it's about finding the simplest, easiest route to finding that kindness towards yourself. It's about countermanding the critical voice. So let's take an example. I've been doing intermittent fasting for a little while, and for the past 3 weeks, I have been unable, for a variety of reasons, to do my 24-hour fast that I like to do once a week. I've managed it 3 times, and then for the last 3 weeks, because of sort of upgrades I'm getting energetically, I have been up here in capacity, and my eating habits, interestingly, have been really almost like a rewind to where they were sort of 5-10 years ago even. And there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, what has happened here? Now, before I had awakened and evolved, I would have allowed that critical voice to take control. And what I would have done is gone, well, what's the point? And thrown in the towel. And a lot of people who do a lot of dieting will do that. If they break their diet, they're like, what's the point? Throw in the towel, and they go the whole hog the wrong way, right? Instead of going, in this minute, this was not the right thing to do, but it's okay. I'm going to take a deep breath, show some kindness to myself. Tomorrow is a new day. Many dieters don't do this. But I've been practicing compassion to myself for a very long time now. And so the compassion I showed myself was just to kind of go, do you know what? This is what it is. There's nothing I'm going to do about this. I'm not going to turn myself inside out, trying to change anything. I'm going to actually just ride the wave to see what happens. I'm going to ride the wave and see what my body is telling me. That was the most compassionate thing I could do. I used Energize to keep my calm in it. Nice. Yeah, exactly. That's just brilliant, Louise, right? Because actually using your energetics today, helping you to stay calm and relaxed, meant that the kids were going to feel that. Remember, 85% of our conversation is non-verbal. So the kids would have felt how relaxed and calm you were. That would have helped the bees as well to stay calm and relaxed. So everyone was calm and relaxed. Everyone will have absorbed more, learnt more. The bees would have been happier, maybe perhaps even more productive as a result of that. So when you are showing compassion to yourself, it's actually, instead of using compassion, maybe you should say, how can I be kind to myself today? How can I show myself the kindness that I would show other people? And how would I show it to myself, right? So I've used food as an example, but I have another friend who many years ago, she's absolutely stunning to look at. She was telling me about some exercises she was doing. And we often don't show compassion to our bodies. And in relation to this, she was telling me that she joined a class where she was running up flights of stairs carrying 8-kilo kettlebells. Very laudable if you can do it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it if that's right for you, except when she was telling me, what I could feel coming off her was punishment energy. She was punishing her body for not being the way it was, whereas your body, your cells, actually know how they want to exercise. They know how to get the best of it. I had a friend staying here for a little while who was really, hi Monica, who was really into walking and doing all sorts of things. And then she was guided to just do 15-minute dance videos. And so she would dance in my back garden, and my neighbours would go, oh, your friend was dancing in the garden again. But she was like having the whale of a time. And in that compassion, she was showing herself of going, I don't have to go for a walk today. I can do this dancing instead. What was happening was her vibration was rising, but not only that, the kindness, the compassion, the listening she was showing her body meant her body could respond in kind. And so the changes she wanted to see would start appearing. Hi, Sue. So compassion to yourself is actually about what is the kindest thing I can do for myself. If you're in a relationship where things are not going great. So again, I'll give you an example. I've been married for almost 30 years. At the end of March, it'll be 30 years I've been married. And we've had our fair share of ups and downs. Life has been pretty much a roller coaster for us for a variety of reasons. And I'm sure there have been points in our marriage where we have both wanted to throttle each other right? We're human. It happens. But sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is just not engage with whatever is going on with your husband or your partner. Because if you engage and you try and rescue them, or you try and provide a solution, and this is something I've had to learn the hard way because I'm very solution orientated, you sometimes are doing them a disservice. You're not allowing them to grow through that situation and find the solutions that are right for them. And so sometimes compassion in your relationships is actually stepping back and going, do you know what? You have to find your own solutions. I could offer you a solution, but I'm not going to unless you come to me and say, I need your advice, I need your help. And I'm not saying I learned this perfectly. I mean, it took me a long time to learn it. A couple of times I would get it right and then I would get it wrong and I'd get cross with myself and that critical voice would kick in and then I would have to go, no, it's okay. I'm learning. And that was the kindness reminder. I'm learning. I don't have to be perfect at this. It's okay if I made a mistake. Sometimes I even went as far as to apologize to him and go, I'm really sorry I offered you a solution. It wasn't helpful and it probably made you feel bad. Sorry about that. That astonished him as much as it astonished me that I would say that. But in my apology, what I was saying to him was, it didn't help you. I acknowledged that in my effort to help you, I did you a disservice. That actually helped him to feel more empowered. So the kindness there was for me to step back. Do you see what I mean? So what is the kindness that you need to do? If money is an issue for you, right? Money flow, such a thing for lots of people. Or jobs. Let's talk about money, jobs, work, all that kind of thing. It doesn't matter whether you're building a business or you work for someone and you want a change. You want to feel that you are paid more, that you deserve the promotion, that someone is in your way, that you wish you had more money in your bank account. Your critical voice in your head can go to town on those things. You know, you're not working hard enough. You're not working smart enough. Who do you think you are to get that promotion? Who do you think you should why are you trying to rise above your station? That's the critical voice, okay? Those thoughts that can happen. And remember, the critical voice will run in cycles. So it might start with a niggle, and then when you ignore it, it gets a bit louder, and then it gets louder, and then it gets louder, until the point where your vibration has really dropped and you feel absolutely miserable. But the kindest thing you can do, the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself is go, actually, I am in a position to go for this promotion, or I am in a position to try my hand at this business because I have experience, or I have, yes, you do, Jenny, my love. I love that, right? I have experience. I have knowledge. I am willing to learn more. I'm going to be playfully curious. And if I don't get this promotion, or I don't get that pay rise, or I don't make a success of my business in this moment, in this month, that's okay. I'm learning. Now, when money's not flowing, it can be really hard to feel that way. But I can say from personal experience, I've been self-employed since 1999. Money has not always flowed for me through my business. Sometimes my money has come through other sources, unexpected sources. Sometimes it's flowed through my business. And my critical voice often will measure me and my success through my business. How is my business succeeding? How much money am I earning through it? What's the balance in the bank account? But that measurement actually is an external measurement that other people have put on me. It's not my own measurement. My own measurement of success is, am I learning? Am I conveying that learning to my community, my tribe? Am I still trying? Am I learning? Am I seeking help? Am I getting help? Do I have a mentor? You know, there are many, many parts to my my definition of success in my business. Income is part of it, but it is not the only measurement. And yet, if I listen to a lot of external voices, that I would feel like a failure because I hadn't earned any money through my business. And for me, this is a work in progress. This particular one is a work in progress, right? So it's not like I've nailed it 100%. I haven't, especially as Energetics Everyday as a company is only about 18 months old. I don't think it's not quite even 18 months old. So I have spent the last 18 months figuring out what it is I want to offer you guys. My initial offerings are the higher self readings or my connecting to the truth of you cards. But I had to learn what it is that I want to offer you, but also what you want me to offer you. I could have been really self-critical about this. Look how long it's taking you. You should have earned more money by now. No. And then I could have let that voice really, really run. But instead I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to see. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep experimenting. I'm going to do the things that I know I should be doing. They'll come together at some point. That is the most loving aspect or way of looking at this that I can bring to this situation. Is the situation perfect? No, it's not perfect, but no situation is perfect. Even the perfect situations don't last because time happens and everything changes constantly. So I might get to a point in the next few months where I really nail what I'm offering you guys and you guys love it and you lap it up and I'm like, hurrah, my business is succeeding, and I'll feel good, right? I'll feel really good. I won't deny that, but that might change again. And so I need to keep finding that loving viewpoint for myself, which is my business is evolving, I'm evolving. That's okay. We'll find another sweet spot. And as long as I can keep doing that, then being self-employed is a good place for me. The minute I allow that critical voice to step in and to start bullying me mentally, you're failing, you're not delivering, all of those things, what will happen is that my desire to serve, my desire to give will also start to waver. And then the most compassionate thing might be to do is take a break, right? It might be I need to decide that I need to close my business for a while, or I just need to go on holiday. Whatever it is, I might need to take a break. So I want you to understand how worthy you are of the things you want and how compassion is really about you. It's about, first of all, what compassion can you show yourself? What kindness, what love can you show yourself? Compassion for you first, and then compassion for others. And in compassion is also the idea of boundaries. Many people are very good at showing compassion and kindness to other people, but very bad at themselves, of showing it to themselves. And in that process, because you're so happy to extend your compassion to other people, it can be to your own detriment. So that's when you experience ill health. Time management can be a problem. Money might be a problem because you're too busy giving monetarily to other people. You might find that the appreciation which helps you continue to serve, that does not come back to you. So I want you really to be mindful that in your compassion for yourself, where are your boundaries? What boundaries are you allowing other people to squeeze or stretch? And where are you drawing the line for yourself? Because that is also compassion for yourself. Strong boundaries. Strong boundaries keep you safe. Strong boundaries stop you going into energetic wasteland. Energetic wasteland is where you're expending a lot of energy on a lot of things that do not actually refresh you or build you up or re-energize you. Energetic wasteland drains you. So I want you to look at your boundaries and go, do I need to change my boundaries? Do I need to learn to say no? That won't be comfortable initially because you'll be like, oh, people have always relied on me to say yes. And they always say, oh, I can count on you. But actually, maybe if I step back, someone else can step up and they'll get something really amazing from that stepping up. They'll get experience, or maybe they'll get a real boost to their self-esteem. And in the meantime, because I've stepped back, I've managed to rest, or I've managed to do something else that I really wanted to do and I just couldn't find time to do. So boundaries are also part of your compassion. All right. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to notice what your critical voice is saying to you. Is it saying you're not worthy? Is it saying I don't deserve the stuff I really want? Is it saying if you don't do X, Y, and Z, other people won't love you or like you, or will exclude you, or you won't belong anymore because you're not being that person anymore? I was that person. All of the stuff I talk to you guys about, more often than not, I have lived in experience with it, right? Okay, you might see my ginger cat in a minute because he's just turned up. His name's Vernon. Cats are very good at compassion for themselves. They are single-minded in their desire of what they want to do and how they want to do it. So I want you really to be mindful of your boundaries. I want you to be mindful of your critical voice, and I want you to think about, I often say to you, what's the simplest, easiest thing? For some of you, it will be, what is the kindest thing I can do for myself? So some examples I can give you as well are things like going to bed on time. Don't sit there watching something on telly or reading on your phone or scrolling, whatever you're scrolling. Make an effort to go to bed on time. Clean up your diet if that's what you are being nudged to do in your energetics. Make a call if it's right for you. Use what Louise said earlier about finding a place of ease before you act. That is compassion for you. When you act in a way that is not easy, that does not feel in alignment, that does not feel comfortable or good to you, 9 times out of 10 that will not be the compassionate thing for you to do. Now, I'm not saying you're never going to be in a situation that's not challenging. Of course you are. That's life sometimes. Unexpected things happen. But even in those unexpected things, you can actually go, okay, what is the kindest thing I can do for myself right now in this moment? And it might be to say, excuse me, I just need to step out of the room. And you step out of the room and you go and get some fresh air, or you go to the toilet and you just sit on the loo for a few minutes just to allow yourself to gather your thoughts and, kind of focus yourself a bit better. That is compassion for yourself. Do you see what I mean? So compassion can be found in all situations. Compassion can be empowering to you and to other people. Compassion is around strong boundaries, allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to love yourself, and helping to empower other people in that process. What's not to like? And compassion for yourself is one of the kindest, loving things you can do. Because when you show yourself that compassion, you say, I'm worthy. I am so worthy of love. Love that I want to show myself. I'm not depending on an external person to show me that love. I'm going to show that love to myself. And when I show that love to myself, it allows other people to show love to me too. Now, I know, because my team told me, that this conversation today might really discombobulate some of you, might agitate some of you. And that is good, because this is your wake-up call to start being compassionate to yourself. Acknowledge your own greatness. Acknowledge your own worthiness. Acknowledge how wonderful and powerful you are. Acknowledge your impact and influence on the people around you. Not in a vain, kind of egotistical way, but in an energetic, beautiful, aligned way. And if you do feel discombobulated or agitated from tonight's conversation, drop me a line under here or send me a message and we can talk it through and I'll see how I can help you. So I'm going to let you all go. Thank you for joining me today. Really lovely to have you with me. If tonight's talk on compassion has discombobulated you or agitated you, do reach out. We can have a conversation. I offer a free 15-minute call and we can just go from there. All right. Take care. Have a lovely week. Look after yourselves. Say hello to your higher selves every day. Involve them in everything you're doing. And I will see you next week as usual. Take care now.